Thank you, Mr. President. I rise on Earth Day to speak about our children and about chemical safety. Mr. President, we come in contact with thousands of chemicals every day. As I'm speaking now, millions of our fellow citizens are buying groceries or going to the hardware store or getting clothes or toys for their children. They assume the government has studied chemicals in these products and determined they are safe. But that is not the case. The Toxic Substances Control Act of 1976, or TSCA, is supposed to protect American families, and it doesn't. There are over 84,000 known chemicals manufactured in commercial products, and hundreds of new ones coming on the market every year. And how many have been regulated by the EPA? Less than half a dozen. These are troubling numbers. Almost 40 years of TSCA, 84,000 chemicals and counting, and less than a dozen actually regulated. EPA can't even regulate asbestos, a known carcinogen. Since losing a court battle in 1991, they can't regulate it. So for decades, the risks are there, the dangers are there, but there is no cop on the beat. TSCA has failed. Some states are trying to fill the gaps by regulating a few chemicals. But my home state of New Mexico and the vast majority of others have no ability to test chemicals. They don't have a department to write regulations. Without a working federal law, they have no protection. Even California, which probably has the greatest capacity of all states to test and regulate, has only proposed rules for 3 chemicals. In 7 years since California passed a law to regulate chemicals, it has only begun the process on 3 chemicals. Mr. President, that is why I and others have worked so hard to find compromise on this issue. That is why I introduced the Frank R. Lautenberg Safer Chemicals for the 21st Century Act. I've come to the floor today on Earth Day to urge you and all of your colleagues here to make it a priority to reform our broken chemical safety law. We have a moral obligation to protect our kids from dangerous chemicals. I have been privileged to work with Senator Vitter on this bill. I thank him and our colleagues who have worked with us. This is a true bipartisan effort. We don't always agree on some of the issues, but we have one goal here, one basic goal. Reform is overdue, 40 years overdue. And I see some of my colleagues are here, so I would just ask at this point, that wish to speak, I would ask at this point that the rest of my statement be inserted in the record as if read.